Like many GOT fans, Roland Emmerich has questioned what was going on with Season 8. So, while promoting Moonfall, he let out his feelings and doubts that Season 8 made any sense whatsoever. And to be fair, Dragon Demands broke the story, but I gotta say, this is a little problematic. So, we're gonna hear Dragon Demands.
And the most intriguing part is that he said that he told Benioff this to his face. Though the context is so vague. Well, there's only like 3 lines of the whole thing. Let me read it off. They were talking about Game of Thrones, and he said, "Yeah, that last season, what the F?" And the next line he says, "I mean, why did this kid, Bran, who didn't have anything to do with this whole thing, like, ends up on the throne at the end? I have no idea. That the Bran thing came out of nowhere. It made no sense." And the last line, the most notable thing, is he said, "I know David Benioff really well, so I said, what the F to him." Now, this doesn't tell us anything about the context he said that in. It's like sometimes your friend does something you think's kind of stupid, and you tell them, "What the F? That was kind of dumb," but you're still friends.
Well, that's interesting because, yeah, like the Bran story, like many stories in Season 8, did not make a lot of sense. I agree there. However, I'm not as super puzzled as Dragon Demands makes it seem. He had psychic powers. Again, they could have built this thing up a lot better. And it's not totally crazy that Bran becomes king. It's that Tyrion convinces everybody to do it. Like how he did it is kind of silly. You can kind of make it believable, but yeah, they didn't really do a lot to try to make it seem like a credible decision. The problem, of course, is that Roland Emmerich criticizing another creator for bad writing or bad directing is kind of like, okay, so what? Now, Roland Emmerich is not a bad director, but I think the problem is that Dragon Demands had the misfortune to put out the video a little too soon. And if he had just waited, he should have been a little bit more balanced because embarrassingly, Roland Emmerich's Moonfall film will not be playing in Canada.
With his 10,000 BC and 2012 co-writer Harold Closer and first-time collaborator Spencer Cohen, this is Emmerich's first film since 2019's Midway and his first global disaster film since 2016's Independence Day Resurgence. And here's the thing about Roland Emmerich, he doesn't care about critics. He hasn't had a critical hit in over 2 decades. His last fresh movies on Rotten Tomatoes is 2000's The Patriot. So any discussion about critics or critical consensus is almost beside the point with this film.
And it's not playing in Canada because apparently they just don't want to put it out there. Apparently, the distributor is saying they can't do it because theaters are closing, they're a little unsure, there's the virus, but that has not stopped a lot of other big budget films. Probably they judged the reaction to Moonfall so far, and it's just getting hammered by critics. Almost no critic is standing up for it. This is getting decimated. Audiences are a little bit more kind. I think even audiences are a little lukewarm. We're going to have to wait and see. Maybe it'll do well at the end of the day. But for now, it's not looking too good. It's a little unclear what to say about all this because I have to look at Moonfall carefully. But I don't know. I mean, I would give Season 8 a very low grade. I would give it a 3 out of 10. But I don't know. Is Moonfall worse? I think we might have to actually conclude it's not by much, but Moonfall might be the worst story. Again, I admire what Roland Emmerich did in principle, being critical of his friends. That's fine, that's good, but okay. It's like, this isn't Martin Scorsese or Stanley Kubrick. So it's good that people are being more critical of D&D, but I would take the James Gunn comments much more seriously. But really? Roland Emmerich? I think we need to be careful on who we're selecting to be, quote, allies. Hating D&D is totally justified, but, we should be a little rational in our criticism.